Folks, thanks for coming on the line with us today. My name is John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so discussing Aetna's MedSups and how the use of the different programs that they have in play lead to clients through a simple cross-selling system. I think you'll find very interesting and very profitable as well. It's an opportunity we look forward to discussing, and we have a special guest speaker to help us in this discussion as well. A bit of housekeeping. Today's presentation is being recorded. It, along with additional reference material that we'll reference throughout the presentation, will be sent to you as part of the follow-up, and we'll reach out to make certain that any questions we don't address during the course of the presentation are handled for you individually as well. A bit of information about Premier Marketing itself. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country. We act as an insurance wholesaler, providing insurance contracts with various carriers through independent insurance agents, with the contracts generally vested at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available for those who qualify. As I mentioned, we were founded in 1968, so last year was a milestone year for Premier Marketing, our 50th anniversary. And it's a really good demonstration of Horatio Alger and the success that a small family agency in rural Nebraska can accomplish by becoming one of the largest producers in the Medicare space. We generally are one of the top producers with the Medicare Advantage and PDP programs and many of the Medicare supplement plans as well. We offer that full platform of insurance portfolio through different types of plans, and that includes the Medicare options that folks have in the Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement world, along with the standalone Part D prescription drug plans. We also offer a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, including final expense life insurance, pre-need programs, long and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and ancillary products, which are a crucial portion of an agent working in the Medicare space now, including dental, vision, and hearing programs, critical illness and cancer plans, and hospital indemnity programs. That Medicare Advantage portfolio includes all the big boys and many of the strong regional carriers as well that give you an opportunity to be as successful as possible in your chosen market. That same philosophy carries over into the standalone PDP programs, the standalone Part D prescription drug plans, or the national carriers, and strong regionals are there for you as well. That Medicare supplement portfolio is very robust, and we have a number of programs in play to help make that a successful part of your insurance practice. Those ancillary products are part of our discussion today in conjunction with Medicare supplement programs, and they are a grand opportunity for us to fully protect our prospects and clients and create additional revenue streams for ourselves and our agency. When we look at the Medicare market opportunity overall, you don't come on one of these programs without someone like me standing in front of you preaching the gospel of the baby boomers aging into Medicare. And we can see by this graph that it almost appears exponential, the growth. But we also have to keep in mind that this isn't the entire Medicare population. You've got about a sixth of the population that are under the age of 65, and they're a portion of the population that we can help, particularly with the ancillary programs that we'll discuss today. When you look at the population overall, well, as we age, our bodies change on us, so we have a number of chronic conditions that exist in most people on Medicare, and that's one of the reasons why a full portfolio of products with additional coverage is necessary for us to help ensure the financial stability of the people that we visit with. We also find that a number of them have some income and savings challenges as well. So having that portfolio of products to properly address their issues and their needs are paramount for what we need to do. The government does give us certain opportunities to help people at certain times. We see the standard election programs here and some of the special election periods, which give us the options to help people all through the year, because there are a number of special election periods that are available to the Medicare population. And we obviously don't have to deal with that with just the Medicare supplement population. They have their own time periods for guarantee issue, but we have the opportunity to help them year round. We do have some changes coming in the Medicare world, however. The macro legislation will change the programs that are available for newly eligible Medicare beneficiaries after January of 2020, or into January 2020, I should say. This is a requirement that folks that are not currently on Medicare, the newly eligible individuals, won't be able to obtain a Medicare supplement plan that covers the Part B deductible. So while plans C and F aren't going away, we have other programs that may be in their best interest moving forward in order to properly cover them at rates that are affordable, and also a program that helps them to stay fully covered with some of the cross-selling techniques that we're going to hear about today. This gives you an indication of those Medigap plans on a side-by-side basis, including 2019 numbers, and that gives us different possibilities to help people on the Medigap side by itself. We do offer a tool that helps you in comparison of these different Medicare supplement programs. It's a great way for you to offer complimentary Medicare supplement reviews and create discussions as to the differences between the types of plans and the opportunities that folks have for coverage based on that coverage itself and the premiums that go with that particular coverage. So as I mentioned, we're going to spend the bulk of our hour here speaking of Aetna's Medicare supplement programs. And Aetna is one of our favorite partners to deal with, outside of the fact that the folks are really knowledgeable and accommodating and helping us with the agents that we deal with, but there's also a good coverage of those individuals as well. And our guest speaker today is the Regional Vice President for the South with the states that are listed, Mr. Kevin Moore, and he is going to walk us through some selling opportunities that we have with Aetna moving forward. At this point in time, I am going to cede control over to Kevin and do what most people on my webinars really enjoy, and that is me shutting up and letting someone else talk. So Kevin, you have the helm.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Thanks for the great introduction, and thanks to everyone on the phone for spending some time with us today. I think this will be beneficial to you. And thanks lastly to Premier for the opportunity to work with you guys. A great organization, as John said. For everyone associated today with Premier, or maybe associated with Premier in the future, you couldn't choose a better partner. Definitely one of our best organizations to work with and one of our largest producing organizations to work with. John, just a quick confirmation, you can see my slideshow, correct?
Yes, sir. Nice and purple.
All righty, thank you. All right, with that being said, well, John already introduced me. Do want to point out that phone number and email you see there is directly to me. That's actually my cell number and my office number, so you're welcome to not only call me, but text me there as well. Please, feel free to reach out to me. I know it mentions on this slide that I'm based out of Franklin, Tennessee. Quick correction on that. I'm actually based in Texas. I live and work in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Well, not necessarily work there. I cover 8 states, which you see listed here, but that's where I'm based out of. The Franklin, Tennessee address is actually where our home office is, in case you're wondering. One other thing I want to point out on this slide, and I always like to make a big point of this, because there is sometimes some confusion after we've presented sometimes about where you might find more information on what we discuss. Our website for all the products that I will discuss is going to be AetnaSeniorProducts.com. Once again, AetnaSeniorProducts.com. And just about anything and everything that I talk about today, you can find additional information on that website. So real quick, just a little background on our company. We are, again, called Aetna Senior Supplemental Insurance. We're a division of Aetna representing several senior products. Our flagship product is going to be our Medicare supplement, which is what we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about today. As I mentioned before, our office is in the Nashville, Tennessee area. It's a suburb called Franklin. We've got a great agent services team there to help you if and when you have issues. We're focused on helping you with your business persistency. We're also determined to bring you competitive premiums. So you're going to see more often than not, we're going to have a product that's not only great in value, but also in terms of what the premium is for your client. We also pay top dollar. You can expect that our contracts are going to offer you higher or at least as good as the other competition out there in terms of commissions. Also, all of our products offer lifetime renewals. So once you put a policy on the books with us, you're going to have an ongoing renewal stream as long as that policy exists. As I mentioned before, our primary or our flagship product is our Medicare supplement, but we have a complete lineup of other products that are designed for cross-selling, designed for helping pick up some of the slack that's not necessarily covered by your major Medicare product. So we're going to touch on some of those a little bit today as well. We've been in the market for over 35 years. Many of you may have heard of us under the former name Continental Life. That's the old carrier that we were. We've been owned and operated for about the last 8 or 9 years by Aetna. We've got only about 400 employees. We're kind of a lean, mean operation, but that makes us one of the top 3 Medicare supplement carriers in the business today. We are A-rated by AM Best, which classifies us as excellent. That's good to know. It means you're representing one of the best. We do operate under a few separate charters or entities, which you see listed here: Aetna Health and Life Insurance Company, Aetna Health Insurance Company, American Continental Insurance Company, and of course, Continental Life. These are not all separate companies. In fact, they all fall under us as one company, Aetna Senior Supplemental Insurance. We just use these different charters or entities here for filing of products to be able to launch new products under different filings with the state regulation organizations. If you look at any of our product brochures, you'll see branded at the forefront, they are Aetna, but you'll also see one of these side brands or one of these charters listed on it as well, because that's how we would have filed the product. Just a quote from our president and CEO. I always like to share a little bit of what the mindset of our senior leadership is. Ty Woolridge is a pretty smart guy, and I tend to listen anytime he has anything to say. He says, and this is an article he wrote about a year ago, just one line, but it really resonated with me, and that's why I like to share it. He says that we want to be the last insurer your clients ever need or want, and for as long as they live. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what our mentality is as an organization. So here's a list of all the products we offer. As I mentioned, we have our Medicare supplement as our primary, and then we have a critical illness, which is called cancer and heart attack or stroke. And then we have an updated version of that called Cancer, Heart Attack, and Stroke Plus, Hospital Indemnity and Hospital Indemnity Flex, Nursing Facility Care and Recovery Care, Home Care and Home Care Plus, Dental, Vision, and Hearing, which has been a big seller for us. We've only had it for about a year in the market, and it's been a really successful product. And then we also have a final expense product. Not every product is always going to be available in each state, so it's important to check our product availability chart. Here's one of our, I believe this is our most recent one as of March 1st. We may have a newer one, but this is a listing that will show you all the products we have in each state. This may be a little hard to read, but I just wanted to show it to you so you know that it's out there. You can always find it on our website, which again is aetnaseniorproducts.com. And the reason why you want to know is you may be in Iowa and decide that you want to go out and market a particular plan. Well, you want to reference this and make sure that you have that plan available to you in that state. So we came here really today, to talk about our plan in Medicare supplement. So that's one of the things we're going to discuss. Here's basically a breakdown on everywhere that we have a Medicare supplement product. As you can see, any state that has a purple or a purple shade on it, we do have a product available. Any of the darker colors, we don't happen to have a product, and that's pretty common. Most of those states that you see that they're kind of darked out there are actually not typically Medicare supplement states, but we do cover most of the country. Why would you want to sell a Medicare supplement or have a Medicare supplement with Aetna? Well, a few different reasons. We have a broad choice of plans, which is actually pretty standard among most carriers. One thing that is somewhat unique with us is we do a 12-month rate guarantee. So what that means is when you buy a policy from us, you're guaranteed that there will be no rate increases except for once. If there is a rate increase, then it will only occur once every 12 months. So you're not ever going to have multiple rate increases per year. There's not going to be one on your birthday and then one on your policy renewal date and then one just because we felt like it. The only rate increases you can expect will always occur only once every 12 months. So I know that some other carriers out there will tend to do multiple kind of incremental rate increases throughout the year. We don't do it that way. So Once you buy the policy, you're locked in for 12 months. And then after that 12 months, you may be subject to an increase. But after that, you're not going to be subject to any more changes or increases for another 12 months. Your coverage is also portable with us, which is, again, quite unique. What that means is that if you happen to sell a policy in a particular state and then that policyholder moves or relocates to another state, they're never going to be changed or re-rated based on their new zip code or their new address. And that comes in handy in states like, I'll just throw out an example of Texas. Texas happens to be a really great Medicare supplement state overall, and it also is a very competitive one for us as a carrier. If you had someone that you sold a policy to in the state of Texas and then they happen to move to, say, California, which isn't typically a very competitive or a very good Medicare supplement market, then that person who moved from Texas to California on our policy will always get to maintain that Texas-based policy. Again, they're never going to be re-rated or subjected to that new book of business or that new zip code that they moved to. The only way they'd ever lose it is if they voluntarily chose to end the coverage and, rewrite it. But obviously, you wouldn't encourage them to do that. Policy, of course, is guaranteed renewable as long as they pay the premiums. There is no pre-existing condition clause with our product either. And that's another thing that's somewhat unique between us and other carriers. If we take you on as a client, we're not going to exclude any conditions or any prior conditions that you had, not for any period of time or not forever or anything like that. There is certain carriers, to my knowledge, who will exclude for a certain period of time on certain conditions that a client had, or they may never cover those conditions. We don't. As long as we take you on, we accept you as a client, then we will cover you for everything. As I mentioned before, we have competitive commissions, competitive premium rates, and we do lots of different sales incentives to help encourage you to write more business with Aetna as well. We do offer a household discount in many states, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to make sure everyone knows that we have a specific definition of our household discount. In order to qualify, your client or your policyholder must be living together in the same household with another policyholder for an Aetna Medicare supplement. So you must have two Aetna Medicare supplement policyholders that are living together at the same residence. I know, for example, some other carriers have a different definition. They may say, oh, you have a roommate, so that qualifies you for a household discount. We don't do that. And I actually look at that as a positive. We're incentivizing you for taking two Aetna policies, incentivizing your clients for taking two Aetna policies. So that helps and goes a long way. And also, whenever you do have carriers that will tend to offer an additional discount on a policy, believe me, typically they're going to make up for that difference in that policy somehow, some way. So, as I mentioned before, we want to talk about Plan N. I happen to be a big believer in Plan N. I think it's going to be sort of the next big thing in the Medicare supplement market. So what I'm trying to do every day and each and every opportunity I get, trying to show and educate the agents and brokers in the field out there more about why Plan N is a great opportunity and why you should start thinking about writing it now instead of waiting until you're forced into writing it, or I say forced. The market's going to change, and John alluded to it in his introduction when he talked about MACRA briefly. MACRA is something that's going to happen on January 1st of next year, where the market's going to change a little bit. And I won't go into deep details about that because honestly, we don't have the time. But the way that it's going to affect the Medicare supplement market is today, Plan F is a very viable option for many people going on Medicare. Well, Plan F isn't really going to be quite the same as it was before January 1st of next year. It's not really going to be available to everyone. So a lot of new business that used to go on Plan F is now going to begin going on Plan G. And to be a little more specific about that, I'll just mention what we look at today as guaranteed issue. And when I say guaranteed issue, I'm not referring to open enrollment or someone who's turning 65. I'm talking about someone who lost coverage through no fault of their own. And oftentimes these end up being individuals who are not considerably healthy. And so they get into a Medicare supplement plan via the guaranteed issue window, which is a great opportunity for them to get great coverage without being subjected to underwriting. Well, today, all that business goes to Plan F for the most part. Now, what's going to happen on January 1st of 2020 is Plan F isn't going to be an option for that guaranteed issue business anymore. So more than likely what should happen is most of that guaranteed issue business is now going to be forced onto Plan G. Well, Plan G is a plan we've all been using and spending a lot of time over the last several years, making good opportunities for sales for our clients and for good help for a good cost saving plan. Well, because of that new guaranteed issue business going on Plan G, and as I mentioned before, typically your guaranteed issue clients are not considerably healthy, that's going to drive up your Plan G rates. So Plan G, while it's still going to be a great alternative, it may not be quite as cost effective and such a money saving opportunity as it's been in the past. So I think many in the industry believe that Plan N is going to be the next big alternative. So I know probably some of you have some familiarity with Plan N, and that's great. What I want to do is just spend a few minutes kind of breaking it down and kind of explaining, what is your exposure? What is the potential cost for the client? And how can you start taking advantage now? One thing I'll tell you just right off the bat about Plan N is that it's looked at as a very stable book of business, which means that you can expect lesser and lesser rate increases than you would on a Plan F or a Plan G. So that's another reason to look at this as an opportunity for a cost savings right away, because A, we already know the premium is going to be lesser than a Plan F or a Plan G, but also B, it's got a more stable future in terms of rate increases. So you can expect that while you will have rate increases, they're not going to be nearly as high as what you would experience on a Plan F or a Plan G. So let's look at this chart. First and foremost, forget about Plan A and B. That's not what we came here to talk about today. So just ignore that and let's look at Plan F. If you look at Plan F, you'll notice it's right there in the middle of the page. Every single box is checked or dotted, in this case, showing of what Plan F covers. And Plan F's a great plan. It's been an awesome plan for a long, long time. You pay a high premium for it, but it covers everything. There's really no out-of-pocket costs if and when you get sick and spend time in the hospital or spend time, healing through an illness. You can expect to be very little cost, if at all, on Plan F. Now, a Plan G works a little bit differently. If you look, it's got most of the boxes checked, but there is one big difference there, and that's the Part B deductible. So many of you probably already know how Plan G works. The Part B deductible has to be paid annually, and once that's covered, then your Plan G works for the rest of the year, just like your Plan F. I believe today we're sitting at a Part B deductible of $185. So once you pay that $185, then you look at what's covered, everything's covered the same as your Plan F. So it's a great plan. And I mean, excuse me, I'm sure most of you or many of you have looked at the cost savings in the past. You've compared the annual cost of a Plan F versus a Plan G, including and factoring in the Part B deductible. And you notice that you usually save, a couple $100 a year still by going with a Plan G or a Plan F. So let's talk about Plan N. If you look on the far right-hand side, you'll see it there. As you can tell, it's got many of the same boxes dotted or checked there, indicating that you have a lot of the same coverages, but there are some things that are different. Let's talk about the one at the very bottom first. That's the Part B deductible. That still works the exact same way that it does with a Plan G. So you pay that $185 deductible each year, and then your Plan N coverage kicks in. What else is different besides the Part B deductible? Well, look at the Part B coinsurance, the second box there from the bottom, or from the top, excuse me. You'll notice that it is covered, but there's a couple of asterisks there. So the asterisks are going to refer to copays. Copays will come into play if and when your client, your policyholder, goes to the doctor. So if they happen to go to the doctor, they're going to potentially look at an out-of-pocket copay. The copay for the doctor is going to be somewhere between $0 and $20. It will not exceed $20. To me, that's not a real difficult, education or a sale for a client, because it's only $20. And most people who are going on Medicare are used to plans with high deductibles and high copays, or, paying a lot out of pocket if and when they get sick. This is looking at a potential of a doctor visit of only $20. So, and it could be less. I say it's between 0 and 20. They actually could charge less. They could charge $3 if they decided they wanted to as a doctor's office. They could charge $12 if they wanted to. They could charge nothing. And my understanding is for many Plan N clients, that's what they pay still. Even though they could be exposed to a copay of $20, oftentimes they don't pay anything. So that's one of the asterisks there. The other asterisk is going to be for a copayment when they go to the emergency room. So if I have a plan in and I go to the emergency room, I might be out of pocket $50. That's the standard copay for a plan in emergency room visit. However, that $50 copay is waived if they're admitted to the hospital. So, you look at it as a potential out-of-pocket cost. It's only $50. That's not a huge amount. And again, your trade-off is lesser rates and lesser rate increases. So that's the two copays, $20 potentially for the doctor, $50 potentially for the ER. Then you go on down the list and you look at Part B excess charges. You notice that is not covered like it is on a Plan F and a Plan G. Now, this is a little bit scary. This is what tends to confuse and cause a lot of frustration for potential Plan N sales, because no one seems to really have a good grasp or feeling about what that means, a Part B excess charges or a Part B excess charge. So let me help break it down for you a little bit. Many of you probably have heard of or you're familiar with Medicare assignments. So doctors and hospitals have basically a list of anything that can be billed to Medicare. This is Medicare assignment. The amount that is listed in this Medicare assignment file, if you will, is the set amount that says anything that can be billed to Medicare should be billed at that amount. So as long as you have a doctor or a hospital or anyone you deal with who's billing Medicare on your behalf, if they do it based on assignment, then there is no excess charges. Excess charges come into play if and when you run into a facility or a doctor or any type of someone you would deal with that would be filing Medicare bills or charges for you who does not accept Medicare assignment. If you run into an organization or an individual like that, then you could be subjected to excess charges. So how much of an excess charge? Well, it depends. Whatever the procedure is, and again, anything that can be billed to Medicare, any procedure, any surgery, any hospital stay, any doctor visit, anything potentially, there's a set amount through Medicare assignment. Whatever that amount is, if the doctor or hospital that you visit decides that they don't take Medicare assignment, then they can bill you. They have the option to bill you up to 15% more of the cost of that, whatever the billable service was to Medicare for that particular procedure or surgery, or again, whatever you were having billed to Medicare. If and when that happens, if that 15% comes into play, and again, it's up to 15%, it could be less. If that comes into play, that creates a Part B excess charge. So if and when that happens, your Plan N will not cover that. So that's a little bit scary, and I get that, but let's take a look at some more information. This screen's got a lot on it. What I really want to focus on is just the bottom two bullet points. The second to the bottom there says 96% of providers who provide Medicare covered services accept Medicare assignment. So the overwhelming majority of those who deal with Medicare patients, they accept Medicare assignment. Excuse me. And you can always check with the doctor, check with the hospital beforehand by asking, do you accept Medicare assignment? They, as long as they do, they can never bill excess charges. And chances are they do take assignment because, again, 96% of everyone out there does. Another thing you can do, and this is a great opportunity for you to help your client even further, and, again, all with the point of saving them money through a Plan N, is you can go on to Medicare.gov, which is already such a great tool for us. Well, guess what? You just found another great use for it. If you go to Medicare.gov, you can actually look at a list of who takes assignment. As long as a doctor or hospital is listed there, then they cannot bill excess charges. Anyone and everyone listed on Medicare.gov who accepts assignment, they cannot bill excess charges. And again, it's 96% of providers. So more than likely, you're never going to be exposed to excess charges. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. There's certainly always the potential out there for it, but the overwhelming majority out there do take it, and it's rare. Furthermore, I'll skip down to the last bullet point on this screen now. 99% of all Medicare covered services are paid on assignment. So that means of all claims that are being processed through Medicare right now, 1% or less involve excess charges. It's very rare. Again, I'm not saying it's never going to happen. If it does, it is capped. It's only up to 15% of whatever that billable service is. So it's not like it's something they can just bill you endlessly for. Is there potential for out-of-pocket costs? Sure. Is it minimal, and is it rare that it happens? Yes, definitely. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit better about Medicare assignment and plan in, and how excess charges are not as common as you think. I'll tell you one quick story. A good friend of mine actually used to work for Aetna. He retired a few years ago, and when he turned 65, he elected to go on a plan in, and then he had an accident. This happened about almost a year ago. He had a pretty bad accident where he had his hand injured pretty severely. It was crushed. He's making a full recovery, which is great, but he had multiple surgeries, multiple doctor visits, tons and tons of rehab, a hospital stay or two maybe, lots and lots of different specialized care to help him heal from his injury. And he was telling me this story several months ago, and he wanted me to guess, how much he paid out of pocket with his plan in. And I said, gosh, I don't know. I mean, obviously you would have paid your Part B deductible, which is about $185. And then beyond that, I don't, that's such a big amount of specialized care. I could see some copays being involved there, at least, if not more. So I guess between $300 and $400, which wouldn't be bad, to be honest. He kind of laughed at it and said, no, the total amount that I've paid out of pocket is $14. That's all he paid for all the care he received for rehabilitation, surgery, hospital stay, and all the specialized care that he needed to heal from his injury. To me, that was very encouraging about Plan In. What else is encouraging about Plan In is that Aetna, as a carrier, has a Plan In strategy in place. We see this as coming. With MACRA coming in and changing the market on January 1st, you're going to see Plan F is going to affect the way Plan F can be written in the future is not going to be the way it is today. It's going to have an effect on Plan G. Plan N is going to be your big cost savings. What we're trying to do is help encourage brokers and agents out there now to start taking advantage of the savings associated with Plan N and how it can help your clients, which I'm going to break that down further in a minute. One of the things we've done is we've actually raised commissions in 23 states. So of all the states you see listed here, we've raised your commissions. And for those who may not be aware, kind of our standard commission, and it varies by state, but typically what you can expect is what we consider a standard street level commission is around 20 or 21%. So that's what you would make on a Plan G in most cases. But when you're talking about a Plan in any of the states listed here, you can add 5% to that. So you're looking at around 26%. So why are we doing this? Well, because we don't want to punish you, the broker, with less commissions because you did something to save your client money and to save us as a carrier money. So we're going to pay you the same or about the same, if not more, than what you would have earned had you sold a Plan G. So lots of opportunity there. Also, we went and made some changes in about 8 states. This dated back to AEP around the September, October timeframe, and we decreased our Plan N commission, or excuse me, not commission, but our rates in the 8 states you see listed here because we wanted to incentivize more Plan N sales. So these were states where we weren't very competitive on Plan N, so we went out there and tried to get more competitive. Now, just because you don't see a particular state listed here does not mean that Plan N is not competitive, because chances are we were already competitive there. That's why we didn't lower them. And here's actually, this isn't the prettiest map, but it's something I pulled just yesterday. This is just using an age 65 female Plan N as a baseline. This is the whole country, and this is what we call our heat map. Basically and it's kind of contradictory in the way I think about it, because when I think heat, I think hotter colors, but actually the darker blue and the lighter blue, those are the states or areas that we are the most competitive on Plan N. Now, if you see other colors, like a sort of a darker green, we're pretty competitive there too. Not quite as competitive as we are with the blue and the darker blue, but still pretty competitive. And the same with the light green. Now, when you get into yellow, orange colors, we're not going to be as competitive on Plan N. But as you can look at this, you can see most of the country, we've got a pretty great Plan N out there. Texas, New Mexico, Nevada, Illinois, several others, Iowa. Alabama, these are all very, very competitive states for Plan N. So if you're marketing in any of those states, you can see there's lots of opportunity. And even if it's not the darker blue, the lighter blue, like Arizona, Louisiana, the Carolinas looks like, those are all great opportunities to take advantage of Plan N sales. So why would you want to write a Plan N? You know, you hopefully know a little bit more about it now after we've been through this, but what's the reason? Well, here's a breakdown. So I did just I don't remember which state I did, but I did a female age 65, and let's look at Plan F. I'm just starting at the top of the list here. So if you wrote a Plan F on an age 65 female in this particular zip code, which again, I don't remember which one I picked, but you're looking at around $121 a month. So if you multiply that by 12, it's about $1,450 per year. Plus you're getting high rate increases with that Plan F. Now, if you look at a Plan G for that same person, it's about $96.29. That's for 12 months, and that's going to be about $1,150. If you factor in the $185 Part B deductible that needs to be paid, you're at $1,340 annually. That's about $111 savings over Plan F, but you're also avoiding higher rate increases by not going to Plan F, so it's a cheaper Plan G. This is as of today. Remember, the market's going to change a little bit next year. Now let's look at this same age 65 female on a Plan N. It's only $78.47 a month. If you factor that over 12 months, it's $961 or $941. Plus, if you factor in the $185 deductible, it brings it up to about $1,126. So that's a $325 annual savings over Plan F and a $213 savings over Plan G. And you're getting lesser rate increases. Remember, this is a much more stable plan with much lesser rate increases. As a Plan N policyholder, here's a little equation I did. If you were a Plan N policyholder who made 6 doctor visits in a year, and let's say that every doctor visit, which we already know from the story I told you earlier about my friend, you're not always assured that you're going to pay an out-of-pocket. But let's assume that they did 6 visits, and they paid $20 for each. So that'd be $120 annually. So for the Plan N, that's $941 annual premium plus $185 deductible for the Part B portion, then $120. That's still $1,246.64. That's a $93.84 savings still over their Plan G if they went to the doctor 6 times and were charged $20 each time. So let's say, that's $93. What do you do with that $93? And this is where the opportunity to really help your client get better coverage overall. And before I get into it, let me ask everyone 2 questions. And again, your line's muted, so you can't really answer me back directly, but I'm going to assume that I know the answer to these questions. The first question is, are you in this business because you love to help people? I'm assuming everyone's answer is yes. That's the same answer for me as well. I'm in this business because I want to help people. Are you also in this business because you want to make a living at it? I'm assuming your answer is yes. My answer is yes as well. So if you want to help people and you want to make a better living or make the best living you can make in this business, here's your opportunity. What are you going to do with your $93 for your Plan N client that you just wrote up, who's going to be very happy because they've got a great rate that's going to be more stable over time? You can cross-sell them with other plans that can actually help pick up some of those costs. Now, we've got a complete lineup of other types of plans. I didn't want to go into detail on every single one of them, so I just use a hospital indemnity as an option. If you were to sell our hospital indemnity flex plan to your same 65-year-old client, you could cover them for $300. This is the top scenario. I've got 2 different ones. The top scenario would be $300 daily for 5 days in the hospital. It would be $200 daily skilled nursing with no waiting period on that. That's for 20 days of skilled nursing, by the way. And also, we're going to reimburse them $30 per doctor visit, and that will be good for 20 visits per year. So remember how we paid $120 out for going to 6 doctor visits? This is going to pay you back $30 for each one of those 6 visits. You're going to make more money than you spent going to the doctor. Plus, we're going to throw in a $5,000 lump sum cancer policy. If they're diagnosed with cancer, they're going to get a $5,000 check to help cover some of their expenses, which a lot of the expenses associated with a cancer diagnosis are indirect or non-medical. Your monthly cost for that plan is $89.75. So you subtract that from your 93 bucks, you're still getting $3 or $4 out of the deal, out of that plan in savings. Oh, and by the way, you're not only helping your client, but you're helping yourself. A typical first-year commission on that, and again, I don't know anybody's commission level on this webinar today, but I know what we consider standard. But if you sold them this hospital indemnity plan, you're looking at a typical commission of $592 for the first year. If you guys aren't seeing the opportunity and advantage here, I don't know how much clearer I can lay it out. You're saving your client money with Plan In. You're giving them great coverage. You can supplement some of the costs with a hospital indemnity plan. And this is just one example. There's other plans out there, believe me, that we offer that can help them in a lot of ways. But this is one way you can help put that $93 back into helping your client more. And oh, by the way, helping you make a better living in the business. I've got a smaller scenario here. Maybe you don't want to put your entire $93 back into more benefits. You could put it, same client, 65-year-old, if they got $500 if they were admitted to the hospital, plus $150 of skilled nursing, $20 instead of $30 for doctor visits, and that's 20 visits annually. Plus, we're going to throw in some coverage for rehab, 15 rehab visits per year that will cover $50 per visit. Your monthly cost is only $57.19. You get to recoup a lot more of that $93. You still make $377.45 in a typical first-year commission. And there's renewals too, by the way. I'm just going off the first-year commission. So hopefully you see the opportunities that selling Plan In can help your client more because you can offer them additional coverage, and it's going to help you more in the long run too. Another quick note as far as opportunity goes, I don't know, how you're making your way in this business today, but I do know that there's a big change and a shift to sell more complementary or ancillary products. And I'm going to put up some numbers just to show you an example of how and why, or not necessarily why, but how the ancillary sales business is really taking off. If you're not doing this today, I would highly recommend you start investigating and learning more, because as you're going to see on this next slide, there's a lot of brokers and a lot of agencies out there who are doing this. They're taking advantage of the opportunities to sell ancillary and complementary products. So here's a breakdown of my sales in the state of Texas over the last several years. And this is just on ancillary products. And I just use Texas as an example because it's my home state. So this is all of our sales in this state over the last several years that are not Medicare supplements. So these are just our complementary products only. And if you just look at the top portion of the screen, 2015, we sold about 2,000 plans. 2016, we sold 3,600, big jump there. 2017, we were off the mark a little bit. We sold about 3,400. But look, from 2017 to 2018, we more than doubled how many complementary and ancillary products are being sold. We're at 6,600 for last year. That's a huge increase, folks. Somebody out there is selling our complementary and ancillary products. And it's not just Aetna's, it's other products as well. This is just the Aetna numbers. And then look where we're at so far for this year. We've already sold 3,200, and we're not even 4 months through the year. So there's lots of opportunity to write these complementary products. I just showed you a great way today. There's other opportunities as well. If you're not taking advantage, I highly recommend you get on board, because there's great ways to help your clients beyond just their major Medicare product. Want to also let you guys know that we have a brand new e-application. It's designed actually specifically for cross-selling. You can write up your clients with multiple products all on one platform. So all the products that I mentioned earlier today that we offer, you can actually, and this is just a screenshot, if you look on the left-hand side, you see how you can individually add them in just by clicking on the pluses there. And then you can quote each one of them individually for your client, and then add them to the cart and set them up all on one application for your client. So there's a great opportunity to do it. You don't have to even see the client, by the way, to do it. You can do it all over the phone if you like. Want to let you guys know we're here to help you. You can reach us at 1-800-264-4000. Option 3 is our sales team. If you need to get a hold of someone and just check on anything, you're feel free to do so. Again, as I mentioned earlier, our website is www.aetnaseniorproducts.com, www.aetnaseniorproducts.com. You can also email our team at aetssiinformation@aetna.com. Those folks that man that email box are great at responding. They sometimes will get back to you quicker than I will. You can also contact me, which I'll give you my contact info again here in a moment. We're giving away money. We've got some incentives that we've got lined up for the second quarter. As of today, if you write underwritten Medicare supplement business with you, we'll bonus you basically $100 per application. The details of that are on the left-hand side of this bonus program flyer right here. Basically just $100 per app once you write a certain amount each month. You hit that amount, we're going to just pay you $100 per underwritten Medicare supplement application. Also, for our complementary products, for our dental, vision, and hearing, and our cancer, heart attack, stroke plans, we're going to bonus you $25 per application. If you're writing our hospital indemnity flex, of which I showed you an example earlier, or our recovery care or our home care product, we're going to bonus you $50 per application. So remember those commission numbers I showed you? You can add $50 on top of that for that hospital indemnity. We also do a trip every year. We love taking our top producers on trips because they're a lot of fun. We're going to be going next year to San Francisco. It's going to be an amazing trip. We actually lowered our qualifications for this. Typically, it's $200,000 in annualized premium. We lowered it down to $175,000 because we want to take more people and have a better time. Our trips are really fun. We, treat the agents like kings and queens. You get all the food you could want to eat, all the drinks you want to drink, lots of entertainment, lots of activity, lots of things that even though you may have been to San Francisco before, you're not going to ever get to go there like this, where we're going to show you kind of the best of the best and have the best time you can possibly have. As an agent, like I said, it takes $175,000 in annualized premium. That's not that hard to achieve if you are writing our complementary products, because all those complementary, like hospital indemnity flex or cancer, heart, stroke, or any of the others, those all count triple towards your trip qualification credit. So when you write one hospital indemnity flex plan, it's really like you wrote 3. So that's a great, easy way to qualify. Once again, you're welcome to email me if you have additional questions, which I believe we're going to take questions here in a minute. You're also welcome to call or text me. I'm on the phone a lot. I'm in meetings a lot, but I will always return your calls if I miss them, or if I'm available, I will answer the phone. I definitely want to help you in any way that I can. I want to say thank you. I appreciate everybody's time. And with that, I will turn it back over to John, and hopefully he'll be able to take some questions for us.
Thanks, Kevin. And actually, I think your presentation was to the detail that we don't have any questions at this particular point in time. So what we'll do is make certain that the information that was given during your presentation and some additional resource material will be sent to everyone who RSVP'd for today's program, and we'll make certain that any questions that arise thereafter are answered as well. Kevin's demonstrated why Aetna's portfolio is a needed portion of your portfolio as well. And one of the things that we want to do now is give you some additional reasons why you'd want to do that with Premier. So let's look at some of those additional options that you have with our organization as well. If my computer unfreezes here. There we go. To the point where when you're in, you're in. Part of what we have available for you is an opportunity to contract electronically. Aetna does some wonderful things on their own for this. What this program does, SurancePay, gives you the opportunity of creating an agent profile and contracting with multiple organizations through the use of that device, and do so electronically, simply, and time effectively once you have your profile set up. It's a great way to make certain that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and much as what Kevin demonstrated with the application process, electronic application process with Aetna, it's a great way to make certain that you're doing what you need to do to get there as quickly and then accurately as possible. We also offer a discounted errors and omissions coverage to qualified agents. As an independent insurance agent, it's your prerogative to contract with multiple organizations should you choose to do so. And while there may be some blanket programs out there that could cover you for one carrier or another, this discounted program gives you the opportunity to make certain that you can act as a true independent agent and be covered doing so through liability coverage that enables you to cover all of the programs that you offer in the insurance world at a discounted rate. We also offer the opportunity to make certain that your license stays in place and you satisfy your continuing education credits through a discount program we have in conjunction with WebCE. You also, as an independent agent, maintain your own benefit package. This gives you the opportunity to pick up non-cancelable disability income insurance for yourself at a modified guarantee issue status, discounted rates, and you share in the commission of your own benefit program. We do also offer additional training and resources for you. Many of the past presentations are recorded, much as what today is as well, and it gives you the opportunity to go back and speak to not only individual products that are featured and concepts such as the cross-selling piece today, but also ways to reach out into your community and make certain that you access all the opportunity that's there for you, working through providers, retail situations, faith-based opportunities. A number of these types of concepts are available for you, both on a live ongoing basis. We do them quite frequently, but also where you can access past presentations at your leisure. We do offer other means of electronic support. One of the things that you do as you offer a Medicare supplement program and different ancillary programs is also generally address the need of that Medicare recipient to have a prescription drug program. And by doing so, you have different compliance requirements that you have to satisfy, and that includes a scope of appointment. We have a means for you to reach out and do so electronically, store it for the 10 years that the government requires you to do, and also make available different enrollment options on a remote basis for both Medicare Advantage and prescription drug and Medicare supplement programs. If you're one of the individuals that markets actively on social media, we have a program that can help put that effort on autopilot for you as well. And Kevin mentioned the incredible trip that Aetna is offering for San Francisco. We make certain that you are aware of all the incentives that are available to you, including those trips, the extras that you get by certain types of production, much as what was shown today on the ancillary products with the extras you get for riding that business. Premier does also offer its own trip, and the folks have just returned from Jamaica now, and you're going to see the introduction of next year's trip in the next week or so. All of this is fine, well, and good, but it's also important that we have opportunities to get in front of folks and present the programs that we offer. We make available to you different means of doing so. If you're one of the people that like Ma Bell and are comfortable cold calling, we make available contact lists that are custom ordered for you and are available at a deeply discounted or gratis rate, depending upon your contracting status. That gives you the opportunity to reach out to people, particularly for demand products, such as Medicare supplements and the ancillary programs that were discussed today, because you're able to, because you let us butted up against the do not call list and are available for you to use. We explore very thoroughly the different options of becoming very active in your community through different retail marketing programs, the Walmart programs and different carrier retail programs are coming available, believe it or not, already. And that's a great way for you to make certain that your presence is felt in the community. And it also gives you the opportunity to work in that community with other centers of influence that include faith-based organizations and providers that are delivering the care for the products that you're offering as well. Quite frequently, the carriers will also offer different marketing opportunities through their different programs that they have in play, and we make certain that you are aware of those and you have the opportunity to take advantage of them as well. We're pioneering, or piloting, I should say, different internet lead programs now that are going through a verification type of process with our final expense products that's about to be rolled out into the Medicare world, so watch for that as well. And we do offer direct mail support. Direct mail is not dead. Much as what they say in the Monty Python movies, I'm not dead yet. What we do is we offer economic support for it based on production, where you get deeply discounted rates through our approved vendors to help with the cost of that marketing effort. All that said and done, Aetna's demonstrated today many reasons why you want to make certain that that's part of your portfolio and what you're offering your prospects and clients. We want that opportunity to work with you for those programs, and we're asking for your business. So watch for additional information from our organization. We'll make certain that we provide you all that you need to do in order to make an informed decision, but that decision ultimately is yours. And there's the old saying, when all is said and done, more is said than done. Well, if you make a decision that this is going to be a viable part of your marketing program, let's get the ball rolling. And to quote another movie, John Wayne, let's stop burning daylight and let's get it in play. You can reach any of the marketers here at Premier Marketing through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208. Currently working with a marketer, reach out and ask for details on the supplemental programs offered by Aetna. You can also find that information on our website and another means of contacting us through premiersmi.com. I want to thank you for coming on the line with us today and investing your most valuable resource, which is your time. We do surely value that, and we appreciate that opportunity to speak with you. We look forward to discussions in the very near future. And in the meantime, we wish you good selling. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. And thanks again, Kevin.